pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of members.
Chairperson Gary Rod.
Here.
Vice Chair Shelley Smolby. Here. Lawrence Smothers. Carol.
Here.
Martin Blackeye.
Good evening. If you've been up in the parks, you'll notice the walking trail up there in Pier Marquette has been edged. Sidewalk down on Main Street was edged as well. We received some compliments on Facebook for that stuff.
That's really good.
If you've driven through there today or yesterday, you'll notice that there is a mount for a flagpole in that island in front of the park house. We're going to start backfilling that with rock and get a flagpole mounted up there here soon. So lots of mowing, weed eating. Cross country's kicked off. Soccer is kind of winding down. So parks are still busy. Power washing between now and the next meeting of the playground equipment throughout the parks as well. So, any questions?
Did the lights under the porch down at Main Street bathrooms ever get fixed?
Yes,
Okay.
they do work.
If that happens again, can they just be wired on all the time? Because it's dark as hell down there at night.
Mm-hmm. It is. I didn't know if anything happened to him.
So. Anything else? Anybody?
I was just up in the park. It's beautiful,
Thank you.
especially this time of year. It's just
Grass
really
is
nice.
dying.
Ain't dying yet, but it's
But
slowing down.
It's edged very nicely. Very nice. Now, Valley Springs Park is another story. Does that get brought up?
It's coming up.
It's coming up, okay.
We did a walkthrough of that park the other day. Looked at the landscape timbers, the walking trail, some of the facilities in there. So we have quite the list.
Okay, good.
So
Good. Because as you know, it was brought up all over the place, and I was just there again too, so.
yeah.
All
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Old business master plan committee reports. Fundraising committee, right here. Trail committee.
Waiting for a report from the engineer. We got a quarterly report for the state DNR. So I just want to see where they are with the plans. We should have.
Do that every time, you don't know a time frame on the plans?
I sent an email earlier today, haven't got the first couple back.
Playground committee.
Playground committee, that's me. Actually, with my new position that I'm taking, I'm going to have a lot of weekends off. And my goal is to check out a bunch of different parks or playgrounds come fall and the winter before it gets really cold, just to get some ideas for some future ideas for our adventure playground and everything. Mm-hmm. Belong to a really cool Instagram page that this lady just goes to all these different parks, and there's just so many different ideas. So I'll just be taking my little grandson, and we're just going to go check out a bunch of parks and take notes and stuff.
We talked about some equipment a couple of months ago that was more like natural looking. Do you know, is that?
Two of these parks, one's in Olivet of all places, and another one in St. Charles, that if you can get on, I'll forward you this lady. It is so neat.
I love that stuff.
I know, and they've come such a long way, and this one park was just amazing. That looks like it would fit in with our theme up there in the park so beautifully. So hopefully we can just get ideas of what equipment we would like up there. I'll agree on it to see if it would coexist with everything else, and then maybe start some serious fundraising for projects in the park for a playground.
Sounds like it.
All right.
Good. That's all I got.
Bathroom committee.
Still waiting for the board to approve the budget for fiscal year 2024, that will be effect October 1. Order in, so deciding how we want to create the foundations and how we put the bathrooms in particular location. So we looked at it, kind of come up with some ideas. Haven't done anything much over it for sure, but the board is going to say yes to the expenditure. So we've had a first reading, this will be the second reading, and I'll see it back out. good job.
Awesome.
Excellent. That's
It
progress.
is progress. And October 1st is just around the
Yeah,
corner.
yeah,
I
it's-
mean,
yeah.
literally,
Where did this month go?
yes. Okay.
New business. Improvements to the ferry landing.
This is brought up at the last board meeting, in the work session item. And he is that Rotary wants to do a major project because it's their 50th anniversary. So they want to do something that has some splash to it. That being, after looking around the city, they thought it would be nice to improve the ferry landing to make it a little more inviting. For
Welcome.
people, welcoming, yes. So this is a project that they want to do. They want us help. They don't have the people to do what they need to have done. So they came to the city to ask if the city would, if we would use our people to manage the project. And eventually, what they would like to look at is having that area annexed into the city, friendly annexation, but annexed into the city and turn it into another park area. So that was going to be kind of the presentation to this group. So I don't, I'm kind of broaching it to you now that this may be coming your way at some point, saying what they'd like to be able to do is maintain that as a park area, just like you would in Fair Marquette, Valley Springs, and all those. So
Oh, whose land is it?
it is a combination of Union Pacific, Mississippi Lime.
So how do you get park status out of all those different people? I mean, how do we acquire that?
PNSF owns a right of way through there. You know, a certain amount of, and I don't know without looking at the plan, we own so far from the center of the track out. I don't know what that amount is.
25 feet.
I wouldn't say 25, but
It's a 50-foot right of way. It depends on if they're willing to even do this, because you're looking at concrete improvements to make the, nice solid area, some benches, trash cans. They wanted somebody to be able to pick up the trash. We have people that can do that, twice a week. So it was, let's incorporate the city into this. It's like, we're kind of stretched, that's how we are. We just don't have a lot, but we can probably help out some. And that's kind of where we were put into that requirement. So we will organize it. We will help manage the project. We have not, it's ever going to contribute anything at this point financially. It'll come.
do they have a plan of
Yeah, any
what they're
ideas?
wanting to do?
Not yet. They're just getting ready, trying to come up with I think they have a rendering, like a drawing rendering.
Right, that's what I meant. Yeah.
But I haven't seen it yet. I don't have it to present.
I mean, also you haven't seen it, okay. I didn't know if it was gonna be like, kind of like a river walkway type thing where,
Kind
And
of
where-
that wooded area is
Yep.
so pretty, it would be neat to
I
put
think
that.
that's private property.
that, well, I
It
don't,
depends on where you are in relation to,
Yeah.
you're looking at the road going in, that's kind of the extent of it. So
That
that's
little
Union
parking lot
Pacific
area?
and Mississippi line.
Yeah, but I mean, the wooded area.
you're talking about there south, going south, that road back up in there?
That's all private.
I'm not sure.
I think it's,
I think, city might own part of that. I don't remember, because we had to
Campers
dig.
down there a lot.
We had to dig from the tracks, one of the culverts down there, out to the river years ago. And it seems like, I want to say the city came down and helped with doing some of that, but I don't remember.
So we
Are they
But that
talking,
could be part of that preserve too, down through there too anymore. I don't know how far up they're going.
No.
No.
It's not a long way from there.
Is it? Okay.
are they talking
Right.
about before the tracks? You know where the Welcome to Missouri sign is?
No,
That's
that's on
over
the
the
other side.
tracks.
over the tracks.
So they're talking
On the
Riverside
Yes.
in that area.
Yep.
Which would, of course, they would realize that water levels go up, down, so it'd have to be pretty basic.
It's just a concrete platform is all we're looking at. So you're not looking at boat traffic or anything along those lines.
Right.
It is ferry traffic, specifically for them to land, drop people off, pick them up.
Right.
It just looked nice when they get here.
Happy, what's the name of this group that's,
Rotary.
It's the Rotary.
oh, Rotary. Well, that's a stable group. I was gonna ask, are they gonna fold their tent? They're not gonna fold their tent.
No,
Not this year.
So it sounds like a good idea.
I think it's a neat idea.
It's always been necessary. I mean,
Sure.
that area is just such an eyesore. It's like, hey, welcome to Missouri.
And everybody
River
wants to go down and look at the river.
Jefferson City has a really neat boat
Yes.
area, and it's real simple. It's just like wood things with upside down canoes is like just,
Yeah.
and you can tell it gets wet, it gets down, but it's there and it's nice. And you know it's a river town, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's our closest connection, hopefully the easiest connection.
Yes,
To the river.
because that's what everybody
Everybody wants to
asks.
see when they come to town.
Do we
That's all
have,
they're asking.
Yeah,
Hard to
always.
see right now.
Yeah.
yeah, do we have,
I was
do we
just
have
down
any
there. too.
water main down there? Do you know? No. I didn't think
There's
so.
no water past the floodgates, right?
There's no water past the old tennis court.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just thinking like when it floods, as far as cleanup, it's nice to hit it with the fire hose. And
There is a fire extinguisher because I just explained to my grandson what that was. Just an hour ago. On the road, but yeah.
Since access to the river was mentioned, I'll mention that we've taken periodic interest in a project that Happy knows all about to transfer some city property to the Fish and Wildlife Service for a wildlife refuge, Middle Mississippi National Wildlife Refuge. That was held up for a long time because they didn't have the authority to accept the property because it wasn't close enough to some existing property that they had. Well, they've had a new authorization plan that included a lot of other stuff, but it did include authorization for this, and that finally got signed by the Director of Fish and Wildlife Service like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That's awesome.
So the road is clear. At some point, that we hope and presume will include some improved access to the river. At least a trail or something from that parking lot out there. And looks more like a creek right now. I walked out there the other day.
Walk across it.
You almost could. I'm sure you couldn't, but it's very low. It's very low. But anyway, that I hope we'll see some progress on, and that'll improve the access to the river.
See, is there anything else on that ferry landing that I'm forgetting? That you've been kind of in on for the conversation?
No, a few park benches and just a concreted area is what their initial plan was.
Something real easy and simple to keep clean now.
It's exciting,
Mhm.
but it's definitely a necessity for river
Oh, I agree.
access.
Access.
It's
Not
like
even
you said,
river access,
everybody
just,
comes in and
everybody-
says, where can we go see the river? I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Right.
got this ferry, this landing.
At the next town.
Yeah. Can
People
switch.
tell me all the time, where's the river at?
Cape,
They go straight up. So, I mean, it's not like it won't get used. It definitely get
You can
used.
always stop on the
It's a focal
Chester
point.
Bridge and look at it.
you're brave
There's
enough.
nobody's coming.
It's not wobbling. They've good. Have you been to that area lately?
They say they're gonna redo it.
Yeah, they've really cut down and cleared out all the
Which area is it?
Chester Bridge.
Oh, yeah, they were already starting at footings.
Yeah. Okay.
They're doing that.
That's it. No, because we don't have anything official until we get something that's completely official, adoption of the part. I just wanted to be aware of it.
Then we'll move on to electric vehicle parking Main Street Park.
So we had purchased as part of our ARPA funds, it was one of the things early on that they were trying to get us to do improvements for infrastructure. And one of the things was electric vehicles fit into the ARPA fund when they did the initial distribution. So we had talked about it and looked at doing it at the Welcome Center, put it in the back of that, where the parking lot is. We're trying to keep it downtown. That's the
Central.
key. However, soon as I say that, then we start working towards transferring that to the National Park Service. So we're still in that we've been in that process for a while, but we're kind of ramping up again. So I can't just, put EV charging station at the Welcome Center and then it becomes a Park Service. I don't think they want it. It's not, I don't think they would want it. But it's our funds that are paying for it, and we want to have that accessible. So we were also working with the county. They were talking about putting in like level 3, which is a higher end charging stations down at their parking lot in behind the Anvil and Old Brick House. But they're not moving forward with that. It's like, well, we can combine with you guys. We can do ours and then do yours. and get the electric and all that hooked up. But they don't want to move forward with that. They don't want to take up the spaces. They didn't think it seemed like anything they wanted to do at this time. So we're looking at level 2s. It takes about 8 to 9 hours to charge a vehicle, so it's kind of an overnight setup. We want to keep it downtown. So the 2 spots that we talked about was at City Hall or at Main Street Park. So we have electric at both those locations, accessible electric. So I kind of kicked it around with the board and felt like that Main Street Park was more centrally located to a number of the shops, whereas City Hall is a little too far away. So if you can't put it at the county, this is like the next best location to keep it downtown. And we have parking, I'm sorry, we have property in behind the Main Street Park that's useless otherwise, except for green space. We're not putting tables back there because it has too much of a slope. So the idea is we have electric in that building. We have to reroute the sewer line that cuts across there, but we can put in 2 spaces because this is a 2-handle charge station. We can run electric out of the building because it doesn't need anything more than 220. It would make it accessible for those that have EVs, that are staying at the Airbnbs or the B&Bs that are down there. It's a good location for that, or at the hotel. And so I'm bringing it to this board to get the okay to go ahead and put that in behind the bathrooms.
How do
Pave
they,
it, put in concrete, put the charging stations in there, mark it and all that.
is rerouting sewage, or what did you say? Is that,
It's a sewer lateral that goes from the,
is that a big deal? Having not owned a electric vehicle, how do you like regulate who gets to use it and how long?
so
You
it is
know.
all set up on credit cards. We're going to go through what's called the charge point system. So that's a vendor. So we bought charge point equipment. You have to swipe a card and then you can charge your vehicle. It's charged to the card. That's how it's
Okay.
regulated.
So then they come in there and say they only need a 2-hour charge, but they're shopping for 12 hours, or they go to Danny's and start drinking a few and just tie up the spot. You know, is there going to be any first come, first serve, or what if they just let it sit there and not be courteous, like after they're charged, move their vehicles so another one gets in?
I mean, it's first come, first serve. We're not going to,
Police, I don't want
You
to,
can't, I was gonna say,
Right.
can't police that, it's be hard.
I didn't know how that worked, or if,
So if they're plugged, if they only need a 2-hour charge and they're plugged in 5 hours, do they get charged for that time that they're plugged in, or just the electricity that they're using?
and I've never used it, so I don't know if you put in how much time you want to charge. Just want to do 2 hours, or if you want to do 5 hours and it stays plugged in, I don't know.
The way to police it would be to charge it for the time.
yeah, I know, and I get that, but I'm just thinking about other
Well, I mean,
drivers with those cars
One
that's
thing
sitting
about
there
it,
waiting.
if somebody's staying at one of the hotels or the bed and breakfast, whatever, I mean, say they only need a 3-hour charge. More than likely, they're gonna plug in, they're gonna go walk around, go shopping, go eat, whatever, come back, then take the vehicle to wherever they're staying.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway.
that's that's what you would hope that everybody
Correct.
does. But
But
I
I mean,
just
it's.
wondered how that,
I'm just saying, like, location wise, I mean, other than if they're going across the street here or over here, you know,
It's not a fast charging station, so
right?
if you want,
Right.
if you want to go from your 0 to 80%, then you're probably going to be 7, 8 hours.
and I would imagine that owning a vehicle like this, you allow yourself the possibility of going into some place that only has so many stations, like, oh, I hope we get a lucky, or if they have to
Usually-
wait till the people move their car and then come back in, you know.
Usually you're on an app, and the app will tell you if there's spaces
Available, right.
available and where they are.
I was just curious how the whole thing worked.
Is there any benefit
What a world.
I know.
from any entity for having these, or
I mean, there's no.
it's just mainly just convenience and it brings people into town?
It's a convenience for your visitors.
Okay,
We're offering
okay.
something that we don't have at this point.
No, right.
We want to make
Okay.
that accept,
Okay.
make it available. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I assume this is something that's happening in other towns.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Part of the latest highway bill that went through, the 5-year highway bill that went through the House and Senate, had electric vehicle charging as part of the infrastructure improvements that they were allowed. We're not using that. We didn't get our application in on time. Our electrician didn't give us the information we needed. But we had the money set aside for at least the charging stations themselves. So it's, yeah, there is a whole grid network that's going in because of that.
I personally don't have a problem with it.
Oh,
I think it's great. I think it's,
The ADA compliant there.
There's not a necessity to be ADA compliant. It's because it's specified for EV, for electric vehicle charging.
right, but would it,
Can't people drive electric vehicles?
well, no, and I was gonna say, would it be a big deal to make it ADA accessible? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, what we would do is we're looking at 18 feet wide.
Right.
You have to expand it to 23 feet wide.
Right.
And put a center strip down the middle. So,
Why don't,
Grade.
yeah, I think we can get the grade because we're going to be putting in a retaining wall.
Oh, okay.
In next to the
Okay.
bathrooms anyway. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Just figure out what the
So it's gonna be more
2% slope
level.
is was.
I would imagine it would be a good idea to go ahead and make it extra wide
I would say
for
so.
that. Just, I don't see a problem with it either, personally.
I like it. Brings more people to that part of town too.
Wave of the future is the way it
It
looks
is.
to me.
Yeah.
And of
As long as
course,
it don't become an issue with people that live down there, you want to plant their own charging station out front and downtown.
So, I don't know if
guess you
anybody
could.
wants to do that in their yard. It can't be on the street. It has to be in their driveway.
But would it benefit them? I mean, do they get anything from that? You know what I'm saying?
Charge their own vehicle.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I think there are people that have that in their own driveway. I know for a fact there are.
In 5 years, this won't be enough. We'll be looking for new spaces.
yeah, it'll be the
Right.
whole,
Well, we got extra space across the whole back
or there'll be
there.
some up here,
Okay.
some sprinkled through the top.
That's
Can I
something
just
might be
suggest
thinking
that you paint the lines a little bit neater?
about.
Wow.
The,
That look good.
Really green.
which way are you gonna run the,
That's
that
kind
back?
of
You're
cool.
gonna run it out the back, or you're gonna run it over?
Yeah, we're good. For elevation. So
So,
then you go between parking spaces, so
would you,
Try to keep them around.
you could.
Okay.
I mean, it's
That was-
it's just gaining access to it in case something happens, but it's PVC, so.
right. Well, I mean, so what I was talking is like, thinking into the future, if we would decide, right, hey, these are going really good, we could actually use more. We got enough space over here, we could actually put a couple more in there.
Yeah, we can leave space in between anyway.
Okay, okay,
And just leave it as grass,
okay, yeah,
grassy lawn.
okay.
But you also want to leave access for that door.
No, well, yeah,
Get
you'll
in and
have
out.
that. You have that, you got the sidewalk all the way around the building anyway.
Right, but I mean,
So-
from the road, either,
Nobody needs to use that door.
I just wouldn't want to scratch someone's really nice electric car getting stuff out.
It goes in, it doesn't open out.
Never mind.
You're welcome. Do we need a motion on that?
Is this
I'll
a
make a
little
motion.
putting green you're putting in here?
Let's show you the 18 feet to the sewer. We're gonna have a windmill at the end.
Yes, that's what you would think.
I'm making,
The balls come out the front. Yeah, that'd be
Mark
fun.
is trying to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the
I'll second
electric
it.
charging stations
Just in
at Main
case.
Street Park.
I got a motion and I have a second. Let's
Everyone-
do a roll call, please.
All right. All right, Mark Buckeye,
Here, yes.
John Carroll,
Yes.
Lauren Smothers,
Yes.
Shelley Smothers,
Yes.
Gary Rock.
Yes.
Oh, boy. All ayes.
Still here.
Hey, the park doesn't even have to pay for this. This is good.
And we like that.
That's very good.
Come on. Throw us a bone.
Refix that motion now, huh?
Yeah. Not here.
That's why I said it did.
They rent the land.
Yeah, rent the land. Yep.
We'll talk about it for the next two spaces.
Any other business? Only after that.
Any other business?
Valley Spring Park. We took a very unnecessary beating on Facebook this week over Valley Spring Park. Things were not ready to be started when a person claims they were. And it has to be started in the fall. Steve, you want to get in on this conversation, or?
Yeah.
What are you talking about
The
starting?
Valley Spring Trail, the park, or
Okay.
the trail, the walking path. It will have to be dug out in the fall so it can dry over the winter. And yes, ground does freeze dry, correct?
It does.
Because there's probably at least a foot or a foot and a half of mulch in there now.
In some areas, yeah.
It's a sponge. And it's gonna have to be edged with something. That chat will wash away. I talked with two different landscapers about this, about edging, about methods of doing it. I was thinking the metal landscaping edging, and one Ethan said, no, definitely not, because 2 or 3 pre-salt cycles comes up out of the ground. He uses a cut stone from Roth Quarry edging. It's 2 inches wide, 9 how tall. Set it in place. It don't go anywhere. You can set it where you can mow the deck right over the top of it, taking care of the weed eating.
Uniform? I'm sure.
Yeah, it's cut stone.
Yeah, better than the rock.
So I called Roth Quarry. There's 300 feet on a pallet. I figured I just roughly count the fence panels out there and everything. Might take 5 pallets, so we're going to $3,500 for edging. But second thought on that is that we contracted out. That way Steve don't have to worry about having the time to do it. Because you know as well as I do, if you'd have started in the spring, you never would have got it done with the way the mowing season come on.
Yeah.
There was no time to do that.
That was always my concern when we were talking about that nothing against our staff, but all the different things and shortage of staff or mowing and stuff. I would hate that project to
We'd
get
have
started.
figured some kind of way to get it done. Yeah, absolutely, but as far as I'm concerned, whole thing was put on hold until somebody figured out exactly what needed to be done. So,
But it has to have an edging on it. That chat will wash off. The Bermuda grass is gonna run right into that chat.
and to make that trail out there completely ADA compliant, I mean, the long side down towards Lakeland, I mean, you're not going to
Well, no, that's just gonna be that top loop.
just the upper loop.
Yeah.
Around by the bathroom.
Correct, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, to
probably.
make the rest of that compliant is,
Almost impossible.
I think it would be better to keep that upper part all nicely, and then take the other side that's gone just
Natural.
crazy and keep that more natural. But yeah, that top part, and then it could become the story trail and all that stuff.
I mean, if there's a need for another ADA compliant trail, I mean, you have Pinkley Park, it's completely
Right.
flat.
Right.
Perfectly flat down there, yeah.
Just something to also think about.
and I talked with Jeff about it on that trail with the front and down the long side back toward the old Troutman place.
Mhm.
To move that edging 6 inches or so on the outside of the fence. So they can mow right up to it and there's no weeding, because now there's a strip of grass,
Right.
6, 8 inches wide from the
Yeah.
rock to the fence.
Yeah, we talked about that
And
a while
that's
back.
100% manual labor, you know?
So are you suggesting that we possibly get bids on someone coming in and doing it, taking the money we have to free up these guys from starting it, stopping it, whatever?
You know, let them come in, get it dug out, let it set, dry
I
out.
think that would be awesome. I mean, I personally,
Yeah,
that way
hurts.
you don't have to worry about it. You do, but you don't.
I mean, we'd get it done with what equipment we have, but if a landscaper came in with their proper equipment.
Right, boom, 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 yeah.
They go a whole lot quicker.
I agree. I agree.
Right.
Just a
Yeah, I'd say,
Can we
You'll
get
have
some
to get bids on it.
estimates? Do we need to make a motion?
Do I need to have 3 estimates on that?
Well, if it's over 5,000, we have to probably do it.
So I'm sure it's gonna be, because the edging's gonna be $3,500.
Yes. So now we could buy the engine
just have somebody
and have
install
it on stock.
Sure.
And then, but you're gonna hire out the equipment and the personnel and the rock, the fines to put it in. I wouldn't have us stockpile that because the contractor needs to know what, they'll have to know what they need and then be able to order it and get it on site when they need it. So we
But that
can do
part, it shouldn't be very expensive part of it.
You wouldn't
But if
think,
that runs over
however.
5,000, we don't.
3 bids on it?
I mean, it has to be advertised.
Okay.
And then they just however many people, right?
That's how we do it.
That's high quality edging, but it'll last. And it's pretty stone. I think I know the kind of stone you're talking about, and it'll be there. And if you can set it so that you can mow over it,
Right.
that's a real plus.
Well, like he said, if you need to spray the trail, you got something to spray too.
Right.
If you do have to weed eat it too, but you get it set right, you should be able to mow right through there and be done.
Well, that'll dress that park up.
It sure will, and it'd be safer for kids too, running around, toddlers, not tripping on this edging, that could pull away from the trail and all that stuff. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Are
And
we demoing what's existing?
I would
Are we
think,
demoing what's existing?
That's-
Are we cleaning that out?
What's existing?
Uh,
Getting rid of it or?
compacted mulch.
that
and
much
rocks.
of
I
it
mean, are
mulch.
we cleaning that out then? So it isn't part of the contract.
That's up to you guys.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we're gonna have, we'll be able to go through there with the skid steer, clean it out, 6 feet wide.
Just
I mean,
make
if it's
that,
the wrong width, then the contractor's got to backfill more or it's too
about
wide.
6 feet 2 inches, so you don't hit the fence. And that's plus on moving that on the outside of the fence too, is keeping the mowers away from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and the 2 dead trees out there, can they be going like soon?
Yeah, that's the old man's.
The one
The ones I've
outside
been
the
telling
fence,
happy for 6 months to go before it runs the fences.
there's, the big one on the outside of the
There's
fence.
2 of them on M Road.
Yeah, I'm meeting with the guy from MoDOT this week. I think that tree may be in the right of way. So that'll be on them.
Probably not, because our fence isn't.
We're gonna try.
Huh?
Yeah, try.
And there's the other ones just down a little bit towards Lakeland,
So,
but they need to be going before
Yep.
winter.
And they're gonna come down.
Yeah, that fence is, that's very sturdy as it is. It's kind of dinged up already.
And then there's a lot of trees out there that need to be thinned out. John and I was you gonna bring that up?
Well, yeah, I really love trees, but there's so many out there, and they sort of defeat the purpose, and it's not as healthy a situation as if we had them a little thin, but you don't want to go crazy knocking down trees. They should be marked. We did that one time, but that's a long time ago. We'd have to,
We got started on that upper end and then,
yeah.
well, I mean, you guys seem to know which trees you want out of there. Why don't we meet out there one day?
I'd be happy to.
I'd be happy to walk the park, mark the trees and get them on it.
That would be a good idea
So,
for several reasons. I'd enjoy it. It's a good background legwork you've done on this, Gary, with the stone and all that stuff. Thank you. I think this is gonna be a real project.
straighten out some misunderstandings.
Yeah.
I expected to be traffic here tonight, but
I was too. To the tree thing, like if we say they were already marked, when would you be able to start on that? Before winter, while they're all still leaved out, or wait till?
it'll happen throughout winter.
Um,
The ones we can handle.
because he can't walk like he used to, but I can, and I'm off on Thursday day. Is that too soon?
If Gary comes out, I'll bring the gator or my side by side. We'll get him around there.
Maybe we don't want Gary on the gator. So trying to give you a break. You did a lot of lead work on the stone. How does your
We'll
Thursday
get you down
look?
there, Dave.
This Thursday, the
Yes.
28th?
Yes.
Well, it's a conflict, but I don't really want to do that, so maybe this would be.
What time is your conflict?
So it would be an all-day
Oh,
thing,
okay.
so.
Well, we could
if
do
I
it
bag that, I can,
if you wanted to wait till next week.
whatever you guys.
Anybody available Friday?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, no, Friday don't work.
Dog tournament. Oh.
Quick for that.
Mornings are a lot cooler this week.
Thursday morning? would be
That's
fine.
what would, is that literally an all day?
I'll tell you what, I'm scratching this other thing. It's over. I'm available anytime.
All right, 9 a.m.
9.
9 a.m.
Is that all right with you?
Gary, you good for 9 a.m. Thursday?
Listen to me talking all big like go check it out. Maybe I need a gator.
I'm not shut.
That's the 28th already.
It is. You're right.
I'm
It's
free.
amazing.
This month literally flew by.
Yeah.
Okay, so 9 a.m. Valley Spring. And then after we get this upper part
He needs
addressed,
to be there.
we need to start on the bottom half. It's just like a
One
ghetto.
thing at a time. One thing at
It's
a
so
time.
bad.
Don't get yourself overwhelmed.
Can you make it on the
That was
28th?
the next thing I was. Did it not, it's totally neglected. Did you get up on that upper trail and look down there? It was horrible.
It is so bad.
I thought that's what we were. I thought that's what we were.
Just
doing.
that little area, not, you can't even see the beautiful rock, the spring there, the trees,
Oh, really?
all, I took pictures, but yeah, we were talking about that lower level that got on Marshy. And then we had
I thought
suggested
were
at
just gonna
least,
let that go.
at least just have like one pass from the trail to the bridges, you know, keep
Right,
one thing.
right.
It's just everything, even up at the
Are
top.
we on for the Thursday morning?
Thursday morning at 9
9
a.m.
Valley Spring Park.
Even the upper part by the trail, just everything's overgrown. I mean, there's wild honeysuckle. It's just bad. I feel kind of, I don't know, since Ginger passed away, I don't go there every day. You know how I was always saying, it needs to be done. I mean, I'm never there anymore, and it's kind of sad. It's hard for me to go there today, but yeah, I miss that part, and it's missing people in it too. It's bad. And that might be a good project besides, or in addition to the water gauge park where the Mississippi Line wants to get involved in helping
Right.
do something. Clean up, donate, catch funds, whatever.
Chamber's coming in next month to do some work at Valley Springs. So maybe one of those areas.
Yeah, because it's like, you need to divide it up into sections, really. It's just so overwhelming to look at right now, because I was trying to mentally do that when I was out there before this meeting. Just, I don't know if we want to replace the bridges, because that trail was really neat to go through there, at least for kids that don't even get an opportunity to get out in nature besides that place. You know, not everybody's fortunate to have a car to go to Hawk or stuff like that. And there's a lot of fun trees in that. Pawpaws are down there. There's pawpaws down there.
Oh, there's a lot of pawpaws down
Yeah, he moved. His wife got ill, and I think he moved back to wherever they were from.
There's one of them back.
There's 3 of
Where
them
it comes back up.
on the bridge. Three pawpaws. Anyway, okay.
Next. Next. Next.
Anybody else got anything?
Can we get back to that stone trail and stuff like that? Will you, what do we do next to move forward on that trail? Or the path of the upper part of Valley
We'll
Springs?
be to look at it together, and then I'll contact get some ideas, maybe and kind of write something up and get a couple people to look at it and get their thoughts.
Thursday, while we're out there, I'll take a walking wheel and measure that top loop, so we got a good number.
Yeah, I just kind of did it today by counting fence panels.
But you
Get
said
a
you would,
ballpark.
to get, you have to,
Advertise for bids.
okay. And you do that, or he does that, or you do that? Okay. That's what I was asking, because I know you had mentioned
Well,
that.
I'm just kind of get a ballpark, to see where we're at.
You gonna put a ballpark in?
Yeah. We want to pursue that route.
Okay.
Okay, well, that was the other thing. I talked to Paul Arnold, and he will bring a straw bale, just let him know how many.
Okay.
I talked for a message with Mary Kay Kreitler. The folks here at Kreitler's wife, they live in Valley Springs, they have pumpkins. So I messaged, asked her about 50 to 60 medium to large, gave me the price of 50 cents on the small and $1 on the medium. So even if they were all mediums, you're looking at $50 to $60.
Okay. Did you call the other guy?
Not yet.
I'm sure it's about the same.
I
It
called
sounds
him
about
tomorrow.
the same price.
So that's that. I need to go up to the park house, because I think that's where the painting stuff is, isn't it?
I believe that's where it was stored. Yes, that makes sense, because it was in the back of the Main Street bathroom.
Yeah, but then the last one was up there, so I think it went to the
And if
park.
those electric vehicles are parked in that doorway, we can't get in there.
Steve, is them light strings still around?
Light
There
string?
should have been 4, 5, 6 sets of them.
Like Edison light?
Look like Edison bulbs.
Yes.
We use them down, string them up from the, like, bathrooms to the trees
Yep, they're still there.
for the pumpkin glow. It turns out pretty cool down there. Does anybody have a fire pit?
I'm
Or I
sure.
guess we can
We
use
do.
one.
We have a round one, I mean, it's not a big one.
John always brought his.
And I'm sure he would do it again. He
Okay.
still lives in town.
Okay,
I thought about that.
never seen.
Yeah, he works out of town now, but he's in town.
All right. Other than that, I think everything should be pretty decent to go for that. Need to buy some hot chocolate.
Oh, here it is on the side.
We need the done one in there. It's pretty cool.
Um,
Draws a lot of kids.
then we can use the coffee pot for the, that and get the bulk and make it bigger, not packets like that one year we made a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
That was stupid. I'm just trying to look again on the date of that. What did we decide on? On the 28th, along with everything else. Okay. All right. Because I'll,
Tables, we have tables for that?
yes, we bought tables.
Yeah. They were at the park house. I think 5 or 6 of them.
And if you want, we can have another little meeting if you, before that. We can just
Okay.
come sit outside your shop or something
All right.
for that, because I'll be available to help on that now.
All righty.
Yeah, you
Are
will.
we going to,
Well, you're in charge then.
we will have a meeting before this? We will, okay.
October 23rd.
Because we're gonna have to do,
Oh, okay. 23rd we have it.
23rd is our meeting.
I know, but that's really short. That's,
Yeah, well,
well, because we're gonna have to make a motion if we're gonna spend money, right? We don't have to do that right
I
now.
think we need to
Okay,
buy any paints or anything, we'll have that done by then.
okay, sounds great. Sounds good.
I'm done. I'll shut up now.
I'd say we got some good news this meeting.
Oh, wait, can I ask one more question real
No.
quick? Before, on that pumpkin glow, you know how with that street, the street,
Jefferson?
yeah. Can we block it off? Do we have to get permission to block it off? Okay, let's do that this year just for safety reasons.
Jefferson between Main and Valley.
Yes. Yes.
Did you have a problem down there before?
No, it's just,
I'm
it's
just- I'm just
dark at night with the kids running around. The sidewalk was just the edge. If it was just blocked off, it would just be with extra measure of safety.
Are there any
Perhaps.
treats or snacks served with that, or?
We bring, what did we do? We have
That's cool.
candy and s'mores and,
That's how we do the fire pit.
we could even do wieners if we like. But we do like the kids to be supervised.
Yeah.
That 1 year that it wasn't. That's kind of, marshmallows can be very
Yeah.
painful.
There's 2 or 3 people that can come up in Perryville for 2 or 3 years that we did it down there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And Festus, I got my guy
Yeah.
from Festus that comes.
Is
So it's
there a
fun.
flyer that,
We usually do
Get something made up and get it on Facebook and out about.
soon because, October is just so busy. That day alone has, the museum now is having GTO play that evening at
Oh, really?
the Oris after the magician and the craft from the Spooktacular, and it's also the museum's, what is it?
And we have deja vu also. It'd be awful.
It's very busy. That's why I'm kind of glad I'm not in the restaurant industry. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that was a great
Dave, you
meeting.
got anything to say?
I do have one thing to say.
oh,
You guys were just talking about those trees over there by Valley's football field. If you guys brought in a logger possibly to cut them out, it'd be a moneymaker too for the park system.
Most of them that would need to come out, probably aren't big enough to log.
Wouldn't hurt to look and have somebody look into
Do
it.
you know a logger?
I don't know anybody, but that's just it.
That's a nice suggestion, though.
You're really gonna get rid of trees?
I don't know if we know of somebody, but
Yeah.
Really?
come and do it.
You're gonna get rid of trees that big?
it'd be a way to make money.
You're gonna get rid of some of it that big?
Keep it along, you know.
Or at least mitigate expenses.
Yeah. Okay,
Anything else? Do I have a motion?
I have a motion,
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
quick.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Meeting over.